what is going on, leaders and influencers. So check this out. So sitting here with the kids, boom. Elena is going into seventh grade with one of her other seventh grade buddies. They're homeschoolers. Look how busy the pool is. Boom. So check this out. Reading. I want to share something with you from this. This is incredible. So they call this the open loop system. The open loop system, which is basically how our brain, how our brain works. So the open loop design of the limbic system means that other people can change our very physiology and so our emotions. Now, so much so, now check this out. Research in an intensive care unit has shown that the comforting presence of another person in the room, in the hospital room, not only lowers the patient's blood pressure, but also slows the secretion of fatty acids that block arteries. More dramatically, check this out. 3 or more incidents of intense stress within a year, say serious financial stress or being fired or divorced or something like that, triple the death rate in socially isolated middle-aged men. They have no impact whatsoever on the death rate of men who cultivate many close relationships. Fascinating. Now check this out. Okay, as conversations begin, their bodies, when two people are having a conversation, as their conversation begins, their bodies each operate at different rhythms, but by the end of a simple 15-minute conversation, their physiological profiles look remarkably similar, which is I guess it's in the scientific world or social science world, it's called mirroring, an act of mirroring. Another one, let's see, so check this out. When 3 strangers sit facing each other in silence, so not even saying a word, but in silence, for a minute or two, the one who is most emotionally expressive transmits his or her mood to the other 2 without speaking a single word. The same effect holds in the office, boardroom, or shop floor. People in groups at work inevitably catch feelings from each other, sharing everything from jealousy and envy to angst or euphoria. The more cohesive the group, the stronger the sharing of moods, emotional history, and even hot buttons. That is no joke. Members who sat in meetings together ended up sharing moods, either good or bad, within 2 hours. Let's see. So that, and they said that happens on sports teams, business teams. So here's the thing. How are you impacting other people? Especially because my passion, my passion is leaders and influencers. So especially as a leader and an influencer, how is your mood? How is your emotional intelligence? How is your emotional state impacting everyone else around you? And then, so including, let's get super personal, including and maybe even especially your family. How are you impacting your family positively or negatively? So this relates to if you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business. How do you impact your staff? How do you impact your employees? How do you impact your business partners? If you are a homeschool, right? I got a ton of homeschool peeps. How are you impacting your family? How are you impacting your spouse? How are you impacting your children? How are you impacting your other homeschool buddies that you're hanging out with and stuff? If you got a job as an employee, how are you impacting your fellow coworkers? And then flip it. How are you being impacted by all those different scenarios? How are you being impacted by your spouse, potentially by your children, by your boss, by your whoever owns the company of your business or whatever, or maybe even it's one of your employees, maybe someone in your military unit, who's your commander. How are you impacted by the mood of your commander? So, and that's critical. If I think it's very important to really take that into consideration. You guys know I've been this big emotional growth journey, and we've got a whole emotional growth journey on my Facebook page and YouTube channel. And the more I read about emotional intelligence, the more I realize how much of our lives were impacted by our own and each other's emotional intelligence. And there's 4 stages of emotional intelligence: emotional infant, emotional child, emotional adolescent, and emotional adult. Where are you on that emotional ruler, if you will, that emotional kind of layout deal? Where are you at on that? And are you staying there? Are you staying there, or are you growing? How are you growing? Are you being intentional at growing in this area? Because again, as a leader and an influencer, you are impacting your EQ, wherever you're at. As an emotional infant, emotional child, you are impacting the people that you lead and influence, whether you like it or not, whether you want to or not. It's just part of being a human being. Another way I like to frame it is, biblically, I'm a Christian, and so 1 Corinthians 12 says that we're one body and many parts to that same body. So, with that kind of context, how is as whatever part of the body you are, how are you impacting not only your specific role in the body, but how are you impacting everyone else around you? How are you impacting the rest of the body? And so in societal terms, how are you impacting the rest of the world by your emotional intelligence level, as a leader and an influencer? So I want to share that with you guys. It was really impactful for me on the power that our emotional intelligence has, again, not only on ourselves, but, like it or not, on everyone else around us. So God bless you guys. Let's continue to change the world by changing your world by changing you.